If you're over 30, there's a real chance you have type 2 diabetes and don't even know it. And if diabetes, high blood pressure, PCOS, or certain cancers run in your family, I need you to hear something clearly. Your genes are not your destiny. Because yes, your genes may load the gun, but it's your environment and your habits that pull the trigger. The science behind that trigger, it's called epigenetics. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your health the same way again. A patient once sat across from me and said, "Doctor, what's the point? Diabetes runs in my family." And I told her, "You're right about the risk, but risk is not a verdict. Here's why. Your body doesn't just carry genes. Your body uses genes. And what decides which genes get switched on or off quietly every single day? Your lifestyle, your environment, the food you eat, the sleep you get, the stress you carry, how much you move, even the air you breathe. Stay with me. Let me show you exactly how this works. Think of your genes as a giant library. Every piece of information your body needs to function, every blueprint for life, is stored inside the nucleus of every cell you have. You inherited this library. You didn't write the books. But here's what most people miss. Every single day, your body is making decisions. Which book do I open? Which chapter do I read? Which pages do I skip entirely? That decision, what gets read and what stays silent, is called gene expression. It's how your liver knows how to detoxify, how your pancreas knows how to release insulin, how your immune system knows when to fight and when to stand down. And epigenetics, that's how your environment controls gene expression without ever changing the DNA itself. Now, here's the part that changes everything. Inside your cell nucleus, DNA isn't floating around loosely. It can't be. If you stretched out the DNA from just one cell, it would measure about 2 meters long. Yet it has to fit inside a space so small you can't see it with your eyes. So the body wraps DNA around tiny protein spools called histones, picture thread wound tightly around small rods. When DNA is wrapped tight around those histones, the genes in that section are essentially locked away. They can't be read, they can't be expressed. When DNA is wrapped loosely, those genes become accessible. The cell can read them, the body can use them. So your body is constantly tightening and loosening different sections of your DNA, deciding moment by moment which genes to activate and which to silence. And what influences that tightening and loosening? Your environment, your habits, the signals you send your body every day. Let me make this even clearer. DNA holds the master blueprint. It's the original library, and it's designed to stay protected inside the nucleus, never leaving. When your body needs to use a gene, it doesn't take the original out. It makes a working copy called messenger RNA or mRNA. That process is called transcription. Then that mRNA travels outside the nucleus and gets translated into proteins. Now, proteins might sound like a small detail. They're not. Proteins are how your body does everything, how you respond to insulin, how inflammation is controlled, how your blood vessels relax or constrict, how hormones signal, how damaged tissues get repaired. Proteins also build every structure in your body, your hair, your nails, your muscles, your heart, the collagen in your bones and skin. So when gene expression changes, protein production changes. And when protein production changes, your entire biology shifts one way or the other. Think of epigenetics as your body's operating system. It's a network of biochemical tags and packaging instructions constantly telling your DNA, read this gene more, read that one less, keep this one completely silent for now. And those instructions, they're being rewritten by your environment every single day, not just toxins or pollution, the ordinary habits most people underestimate, eating every 2 or 3 hours and spiking your blood sugar constantly, living on ultra-processed foods, carrying chronic stress that never fully resolves, sleeping poorly night after night, sitting for hours without movement, disrupting your body's natural circadian rhythm with screens and artificial light. Over time, those repeated signals push your gene expression toward patterns we recognize as chronic disease. insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, abnormal cholesterol handling, kidney dysfunction, stiff, aging blood vessels. Your body is simply adapting to the messages you keep sending it. If this is making sense, subscribe and share this video. Help someone else understand what their doctor never explained. In women's health, we see this connection play out dramatically with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. PCOS sits at the crossroads of metabolism, hormones, inflammation, and stress biology. It's the perfect example of genes plus environment. You may inherit the vulnerability, but your lifestyle signals strongly shape how loudly that vulnerability expresses itself. That's why improving sleep, cutting back on ultra-processed foods, building muscle through strength training, or even brisk walking and lowering chronic stress can meaningfully improve symptoms and metabolic markers for many women, right alongside proper medical care. Intermittent fasting can amplify these benefits even further. I have a separate video on that in the playlist. And cancer? Cancer is not one disease, and it's never simply your fault. But we know that chronic inflammation, obesity, insulin resistance, and disrupted circadian rhythms can all influence biological risk and outcomes in certain cancers. Epigenetics helps explain why lifestyle modification works as a prevention strategy. It shows us how the environment inside your body can tilt the terrain toward protection or toward vulnerability. So here's what I want you to take with you. You inherited your genes. That part is done. But you live inside an environment, and that environment isn't just the air around you or the city you live in. It's the signals you send your body every day, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, how you handle stress. Genes load the gun. Lifestyle pulls the trigger. But here's the beautiful part. You can redesign the environment. You can change the signals. You can influence which genes get expressed. You can shift the biology you were told was fixed. If this video helped you, share it with someone who feels trapped by their family history, someone who thinks their diagnosis was inevitable, and subscribe. Because in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to translate this into practical daily habits that actually stick. Remember, knowledge is the beginning of healing.